Hello, today I'll be going over my self-directed learning journey. This was for my master's class, EDTC 6341. That's for educational technology. So before I get into going over my self-directed learning journey, this class is focused on student-centered learning, and I wanted to give a definition of that before I started. The Glossary of Education Reform defines student-centered learning as a wide variety of educational programs, learning experiences, instructional approaches, and academic support strategies that are intended to address the distinct learning needs, interests, aspirations, or cultural backgrounds of individual students and groups of students. This definition defines student-centered learning as being able to take on the shape of programs, experiences, approaches, and strategies of the learning experience. In my case, I went ahead and looked for something or a training, a course that helped me with my editing skills, my multimedia editing skills. And the software that I use is DaVinci Resolve 17. The developer of that program, Blackmagic Design, has trainings on their website where it allows you to gain certification in different parts or different aspects of the software that they have. I went ahead and got certified as an editor, where you cut up and break up videos or clips, videos, images, whatever, and put them all together into a big project. Now there's a lot of steps in the process that are involved in editing multimedia at a very high level, but in this case I focused on the edit page of DaVinci Resolve. In this video I'm going to be sharing my experience through 3 different stages. The first one is going to be the documentation of my learning experience. The second one is going to be lessons learned. And the third one is going to be future directions and what I plan to do with the certification. So when reflecting on my experience with this training module / course, I really enjoyed that it was very self-paced and on my own time. There were no when I start here, I have to take the test by a certain time, a week after I started the training. There's nothing like that. I really enjoyed that and being able to pace myself throughout the program or the training course. Something that I wasn't too fond of when it came to this training course is that the whole training course was provided over an ebook. Now, I'm not a huge reader, I'm more of a visual learner, or if I follow tutorials on YouTube, that's more my speed. I would have loved if they had little videos or certain steps explaining things, because when you're having to read hundreds of pages of editing words and terminology, it does kind of get a little overwhelming at times, which doesn't really help the end goal, being intrinsically motivated to learn this or stuff that I would want if I were to develop a course. I went ahead and planned a timeline for me to complete this training course, which took around a week. I'll flash the timeline on the screen right now, but this is kind of the layout I went through throughout the days of the week in order to prepare and make sure that I was going to finish this in time. As a matter of fact, I finished it relatively early, in which Dr. Watkins had me go back and try to get another certification, which was the virtual effects certification. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the certification for this training module right now. This is an extremely dense topic, and I definitely want to go back in and review before I go ahead and take the exam again. The developer requires that I pass the final examination with an 85% or higher. With my editing certification, I went ahead and passed that with a 90%. And with the VFX certification, I got a 70, so I did not receive certification in this field. However, I did get it for the editing. The certification I earned was the Certified Editor in DaVinci Resolve 17. For the lessons learned section of this video, I'm going to be focusing on that certification, since that's the one that I earned and I currently hold. This certification training provided detailed procedures for learning basic editing techniques, ways to be more efficient with organizing projects, advanced editing techniques and trimming styles, multi-camera editing, how to effectively navigate the cut page, using a variety of composing, keying, and tracking tools, learning 3 Resolve effects tools, as well as learning a bit of sound editing design and mixing in the Fairlight page and adding subtitles. All the tools within this software are very high quality, professional level tools that I have access to for free, and everyone else has access to as well. However, it does take a lot of practice to really learn and ingrain these tools in your head. Now you can get away with basic editing, but this training kind of took that a little bit further and prepared you for more trainings in the future. Like I said, I wasn't able to get that VFX right away, but I know that there's other trainings that I can look into as well for this specific software, which I am going to look to as I move on. And that leads me into my last section, which is further directions. So when looking into the future, I do want to get a career in the instructional design field. Now, I think multimedia editing is going to help me with my specific goal in mind, which I want to be contributing to the media being put out in order for trainings and modules and all this stuff to take place. That's one thing I really admired about this specific training module, is it did inspire me because everything in it was very well done. I liked the way that the exam was implemented into the whole training process. I liked how it was completely self-paced. I think as it was presented in an ebook, like I said, I'm not really fond of that. However, it still was very manageable for me to read through it in different chunks and chapters. So yeah, I hope everything went well with your training modules. I'm excited to check them all out. So yeah, thanks. Have a great day.